he has a section on the stages of spiritual growth.
Yeah.
And it's a simple outline, but it's one I like just because it's simple, it's easy to grasp, but he's laying out there's a journey here and there are stages and each has its own character.
Uh-huh.
And one of his points is, and you can't skip, you can't jump over.
Yeah.
You have to go through the process.
Yeah.
So maybe again, that's that common recognition that if a journey's involved, then it shouldn't be surprising that God is quote unquote hard to find.
Yeah.
And not making himself, as it were, obvious.
Yeah.
Because then there wouldn't be a journey and nothing would be learned along the way.
Exactly. And it's almost like something has to be learned and something has to be received. And I even go further beyond like just maybe the explicitly spiritual or psychological. I mean, we see this throughout nature. There's stages, there's rhythms, and
seasons.
There's seasons.
Yeah.
And
the way in which things
grow,
are.
Yeah. Just on a larger scale. So there's just there's something that has to be developed.
Right. So if everything's telling us there's a process, even evolutionary processes show a development.
Yes.
On a cosmological scale, people talk about, what's happened in the universe, from a big bang, a kind of an initial singularity, an expansion, as someday there'll be a contraction. So everything is a process.
Yes.
So if maybe the universe is telling us, okay, it's a process. And then here we are saying, well, why isn't God obvious?
Exactly.
Well, maybe it's a process.
Maybe it's a process.
When we were thinking about this, I thought of a couple sources, that reflect this. One is a poem entitled Dark Night of the Soul, by a guy that we call St. John of the Cross, who was a Spanish mystic in the kind of middle to late 1500s. And it was a poem he wrote about the spiritual journey. And, and a big part of the metaphor is entering into this darkness, which is for him unknowing.
Yeah.
It's where you can't grasp it. And so he's saying a part of the journey is it's entering into this unknowing. It's like encountering it.
Yeah.
And it's just 8 stanzas, the poem itself. And right in the middle, the 4th and the 5th, here's what he's saying. And I think this kind of illustrates what we're talking about. This light guided me. This was the light he has previously said is kind of the fire burning in his heart. It's his heart that's leading him. It's not his head. It's not that he knows and can see. It's that he's in the darkness. He can't see, but he's being guided by the light of his heart.
Yeah.
This light guided me more surely than the light of noonday to a place where he, well, I knew who, was awaiting me, a place where none appeared. So he's making this journey to God, the one he knows is awaiting him, and he gets there and no one appears. And you might think, okay, so is he saying
God doesn't exist?
Yeah, God doesn't exist. It was a failed journey.
Yeah.
But then he goes on the very next stanza. O night that guided me, O night more lovely than the dawn, O night that joined beloved with lover, lover transformed in the beloved. So here's the paradox and the irony is he says he got there and none appeared. And yet he goes on to say the one who loved him, the lover was there and he's the beloved and they are joined. And so what is he getting at? I think what he's getting at is who he was expecting wasn't there.
Yeah.
But was his lover, was the lover of his soul there? Yes.
So the God that he was expecting was not there.
So that's why he calls it the dark night of the soul. It's into unknowing that we journey. It's trying to find who God is. And all of us have an idea, right? We already have an idea. When we're looking for God, we have an idea of who we're looking for.
And it's almost like we have to have an idea. We got to have some type of concept to begin with.
We have a sense of what we're looking for, who we're looking for. And at least St. John of the Cross alleges, his contention is, that's not who you're going to find.
Yes. Yeah.
You're going to go there, but you're not going to encounter the God you're thinking of. And so maybe one of the reasons it's hard to quote unquote find God is I'm looking for a particular version,
Mm,
the one in my imagination, the
yeah.
one I think about. Like you said, I have to have some
Yeah.
idea.
The God that fits my concepts, my ideas, my constructs. Yeah.
Yeah, my expectations.
Yeah.
And yet maybe what we're being told is on this journey, um, it's not the God I'm already thinking about that I will encounter. It's a God I have not yet
Mm,
recognized,
yeah.
is the one that I'm ultimately going to find. It's beyond, what I was already thinking about. And if that's the case, well, um, yeah, it makes sense why God is hard to find, because I'm looking for a particular version.
Yeah.
And that God, perhaps that God doesn't exist, the
Yeah.
one of my imagination.